A new report from Punchbowl News says that Amazon is looking to avoid the blame for raising prices as a result of President Trump's new tariff.
But I imagine you do when it comes to tariffs.
We look at all the things that could impact consumers and customers.
A recent report from Punchbowl News reveals that Amazon is taking deliberate steps to avoid being blamed for potential price increases resulting from the newly imposed tariffs by President Trump. These tariffs, part of a broader and more aggressive trade policy, mark a significant shift in U.S. economic strategy, particularly in how it deals with key allies and long-term trade partners. In light of this, Amazon CEO has announced a momentous decision to relocate the company's headquarters outside the United States, a move that not only affects the world's largest online retailer, but also signals a fundamental change in global commerce. This strategic relocation comes amid increasing political pressure and highlights the vulnerability of international supply chains in times of geopolitical upheaval. Amazon's once vibrant campus in the Pacific Northwest has now become a symbol of uncertainty, casting a shadow over its role as a hub of innovation and a major source of employment. Employees who had once thrived in the company's rapid growth environment are now faced with difficult choices. Either uproot their lives and move abroad with the company or search for alternative opportunities within a shifting job market. The announcement has sent ripples far beyond the tech sector. Governments, trade partners, and businesses around the world are now reassessing their economic strategies in response to this dramatic shift. At the center of this disruption is the newly elected administration's use of tariffs as a primary tool of trade policy. What was once an occasional tactic has become a sweeping strategy affecting a broad spectrum of imports, including those from close allies. Though the goal is to protect and revitalize American manufacturing, the unintended consequences are substantial. Higher prices for consumers, strained trade relationships, and logistical challenges that ripple across international markets. For global giants like Amazon, which rely on a finely tuned international distribution network, the tariffs pose a direct threat to operational efficiency and competitive pricing. The decision to relocate the headquarters is therefore seen as a clear statement of dissatisfaction with the current direction of U.S. trade policy. While corporations have historically adapted to evolving regulatory landscapes, the sheer scale and speed of these changes have taken many by surprise. At Amazon, internal discussions have centered on the sobering realization that even a company of its size and resilience cannot fully shield itself from the unpredictability of political shifts. The choice of Amazon's new headquarters location was made through a comprehensive assessment of several critical factors. A favorable corporate tax environment, strong technological infrastructure, and a stable political climate were essential requirements. In addition, the company prioritized proximity to major manufacturing hubs to ensure the continuity of its supply chain and product delivery operations. Local labor markets, educational institutions, and quality of life were also weighed heavily in the decision-making process. The country ultimately chosen is now set to benefit immensely from Amazon's presence through job creation, increased investment in commercial and residential real estate, and broader economic stimulation. However, while the host nation prepares to welcome Amazon's next chapter, the consequences of its departure are being acutely felt in the U.S. The city that once proudly housed Amazon's headquarters faces economic decline, with small businesses that depended on its workforce now seeing drops in revenue, real estate markets cooling, and municipal budgets tightening due to the loss of tax contributions. Public infrastructure, schools, and local services that were once buoyed by Amazon's presence now face an uncertain future. On a national level, policymakers are confronted with the stark realization that protectionist policies may conflict with the realities of global business. While the intent behind tariffs was to promote American industry, the fallout has led one of its most iconic corporations to move its core operations abroad. Critics argue that the tariffs have weakened long-standing alliances and given international competitors an opening to attract investment and influence for Amazon's new host country. The relocation is a major win, signaling to multinational corporations worldwide that viable alternatives to the U.S. exist. In response, nations across the globe are expected to ramp up their efforts to attract foreign investment by offering tax incentives, simplifying regulations, and emphasizing political stability and trade-friendly policies. Amazon's relocation may even set off a new era of competition among countries, hoping to serve as the base for the next global tech giant. As the relocation progresses, Amazon is facing the monumental task of restructuring its vast logistics network. The company's hallmark speed and efficiency in fulfillment must now be re-engineered to accommodate new trade routes, customs regulations, and operational hubs. Warehouses are being redesigned, shipping logistics recalibrated, and international partnerships renegotiated. While the transition presents substantial challenges, it also brings opportunity, especially for employees based in the new headquarters region. Local workers are enrolling in training programs, suppliers are scaling their capabilities, and regional governments are eagerly preparing for Amazon's arrival. At the same time, the company is taking great care to preserve its internal culture and leadership principles that have guided its rise. Through town halls, Q&A sessions, and one-on-one outreach, Amazon is ensuring employees feel supported during this major transition. Cross-cultural training is being introduced to unify the increasingly diverse global workforce, and flexible work options are being offered to accommodate those unable or unwilling to relocate. The rest of the corporate world is watching Amazon's next move closely. For global suppliers and partners, the company's relocation represents both a challenge and an opportunity. Some will benefit from expanded access to emerging markets, while others must navigate disruptions and reconfigure their supply chains. Consulting firms are reporting a surge in demand from clients seeking to understand tariff mitigation, sourcing alternatives, and compliance requirements. The financial sector has also responded to the news. Initially, Amazon stock experienced volatility, but soon stabilized as the company released more details about its relocation strategy. Analysts have revised their forecasts, accounting for tax savings, operational efficiencies, and long-term growth potential in the new host nation. While concerns remain about possible reputational risks and loss of favor with U.S. consumers, most financial observers agree that Amazon's swift and strategic response strengthens its long-term global standing. The human impact of the relocation is no less significant. Thousands of Amazon employees now face life-altering decisions, and to support them, the company has launched programs offering visa help, relocation assistance, housing guidance, and career counseling. The move has also reignited global discussions about the role and responsibilities of multinational corporations in the communities they serve. Amazon's departure challenges the traditional notion that a corporate headquarters must remain static. Instead, it demonstrates how a single political shift, like an unexpected election, can have profound effects on corporate strategy. As Amazon lays the groundwork for its future, the company aims to build a global hub of innovation, recruiting diverse talent, and positioning itself at the forefront of technological advancement. However, achieving this vision requires meticulous planning and coordination to ensure uninterrupted service and continued customer satisfaction. From a supply chain perspective, Amazon's transition is nothing short of transformational. Businesses dependent on U.S.-based distribution now must overhaul their logistics systems, adopt new inventory strategies, and implement technology to accommodate longer lead times and complex regulations. Some vendors may relocate their own manufacturing bases or explore nearshoring options to maintain efficiency. Financial institutions are adapting as well, updating trade finance models to reflect new currency risks and banking requirements. Amazon is also expanding its international cloud infrastructure to comply with local data protection laws, prompting the development of new cybersecurity frameworks and cross-border data protocols. Retail partners, particularly those outside Amazon's new home region, must adjust their operations, potentially paving the way for new local e-commerce competitors to emerge. Amazon, meanwhile, must now manage currency fluctuations, cross-border capital controls, and new foreign exchange strategies. Its governance model is evolving to include global regulatory experts, and shareholder meetings are expected to rotate among key international locations. Labor relations, too, are entering a new phase, with the company adapting its HR, compensation, and training practices to comply with diverse labor laws and cultural norms across regions. Sustainability is another core focus, with Amazon forming new partnerships to promote clean energy, especially in developing markets. Its marketing and customer engagement strategies are being redefined with localization in mind, ranging from branding and loyalty programs to AI-driven product recommendations tailored to regional preferences. As Amazon transforms into a truly global enterprise, its expansion is influencing innovation across sectors. Financial analysts are closely tracking regional performance metrics, while the new host nations stand to gain from academic partnerships and advanced research investments in fields like AI and robotics. Legal and compliance teams are addressing new complexities in antitrust, tax, and intellectual property law. Technological infrastructure such as edge computing, automation, and robotics is being optimized for regional conditions. Community engagement efforts are being localized as well, with Amazon reworking its corporate social responsibility strategies to reflect regional priorities. Initiatives like ethical sourcing and blockchain-based transparency will help ensure high standards across the global supply chain. Workplaces are being redesigned to suit hybrid work models and regional cultural expectations, while diversity, equity, and inclusion programs are also being localized to reflect community needs. Amazon's global communication strategy is carefully balancing empathy for U.S. communities with excitement about new international opportunities. Finally, Amazon's relocation is expected to trigger further changes in global trade dynamics. New tech hubs may emerge, while the U.S. might revise its own trade strategies to regain competitiveness. Cybersecurity, multilingual customer service, and data governance will become more important than ever. Amazon is also investing heavily in emerging technologies like quantum computing and blockchain logistics, reinforcing its leadership in the global digital economy. In step with its corporate evolution, Amazon's philanthropic arm is recalibrating its efforts to address global issues such as digital equity, cross-border education, and health disparities. These social impact initiatives are designed to align with Amazon's broader presence around the world, aiming to create shared prosperity and establish the company as a force for good wherever it operates. It's